Hi, this is Dr. Kimberley Linert, and you're listening to Incredible Life Creator Podcast. My guest today is Tracy Rodriguez. Tracy,
Hi.
hi. Tracy has been in the fitness industry for 15 years and owns Iron Girlz Female Transformation Center that was built into a self-running business and facility. Tracy now spends her time inspiring and helping other lady business owners with self-love and relationship balance. She is a featured story in Robert Kiyosaki Rich Dad Success Stories, and that really started her journey into the fitness industry. She now has created Unleash the Power of Self-Love and Marriage to have an impact on those she can help. Welcome to the podcast, Tracy.
Thank you so much. I'm super excited to share today.
Yes. So let's start out by you telling us a little bit about you, where you grew up, where you started, how you got to be where you are with your fitness center and your helping women.
Okay, awesome. Well, I have quite the story. I was born and raised in San Diego, California, actually in LA, but was pretty much raised in San Diego. Always kind of had that entrepreneur spirit, wanted to just kind of always do my own thing. So even from a very young age, I would just venture out and do some crazy things. And I did like newspaper routes and things like that just to make my own money. And I, at 18, moved to the beach and down in San Diego and lived in my own beach house apartment. At 18 was pretty awesome. And that's just kind of where everything started. I just, really reflected a lot on myself, on the things that I wanted to do. I knew that I was meant for greatness, and just always kind of read the self-help things and that sort of thing. And, just really enjoyed life at that point. At 21, met my husband, and we've now been married for going on 29 years.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. But that's definitely part of my story is having the marriage that I have. So, but eventually I really wanted to have my own business. We had 2 children, just like everybody else, just doing the go to work, come home, sort of thing. And that just was not me. And so I really wanted to start my own business, and I fell in love with the Robert Kiyosaki Rich Dad, Poor Dad stories, and started playing his game Cash Flow. And through that, I actually ended up meeting him and his wife, Kim, and I honestly don't even know what it was, but they liked me, and they invited me to their office for like a year. Every Friday they played that game with their staff, and they offered for me to come down and play. And through that game, I ended up developing 2 businesses that I had got out of the rat race. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that game or not, but it's to get out of the rat race. And one of them was medical vending, and the other one was a snow cone company. So I ended up developing both of those companies, had other people pay for them just like he teaches, and ended up being successful with those. So that is why in 2002 he had contacted me and asked if I would be one of his stories in Rich Dad Poor Dad Success Stories. And so I'm the second story in the book, and he goes through actually both of those businesses. But in the interview process, he was really asking me what my passion was, what I felt my gift was. We all have a gift. And I really felt that my gift was inspiring women. I just connected. Whenever I told stories, I just felt very engaged with the women that I would talk with. And I've always wanted to live a better life. And so the things that I've done, I just felt like I could really inspire women. So he encouraged me to really develop a business that would use my gift. And I had always struggled with self-image and my weight and that sort of thing. So I decided at the time, we're talking 15 years ago, curves was the big thing. So I decided to open up something similar to curbs. Through that, fast forward, we ended up doing a couple facilities like that. And then I thought I knew what I was doing, but I definitely did not. And we ended up losing everything, hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, repo cars. Actually, the saddest story is I had gotten a loan on one of my husband's vehicle, and I couldn't make a payment. The next morning he went out and his car was gone, and to have to tell him that it was horrible. So almost lost my marriage, hundreds of thousands in debt. But I knew that I felt such a connection with that business and that route. I just knew that was the way I was supposed to go. So I just kept going and just tried. Then I went into boot camps because that was the big thing. And but it was about 2000, let's see, 7 years. So about 2011 or 12, around that time, I was at my end. I was either going to shut my business down and walk away because I was making less than $1,000 a month. I couldn't help support the family, and I was just kind of done. And I came across a business coach, and this coach, I literally had no money to pay for him. And I ended up getting a check in the mail for exactly what his fee was. And it was a totally unexpected check. So I said, okay, that's a sign. I take everything as a sign. And I said that was my sign to move forward. So I told him I can only commit to the 1 month. That's all I can do. This is all I have. And I said, and we'll see what happens. We'll go from there. Well, long story short, it changed my life. And within a 6-month period of time, he had me at over a 6-figure business, and from nothing. And opened up my dream facility, rebranded myself for Iron Girlz, which is the current business that I still have. And so we're going into our 7th year of that business. And it has just been amazing. I've learned through this, how to systemize my business, how to create a business that can run without me, and, just to create a lifestyle with this business. And from, the 15 years of struggling, well, I guess it wasn't all 15 years of struggling, but a good 11 years of struggling. This has been huge and a life changer for us. We've been able to, travel the world. We've gone to Thailand a couple times for months, or not months, but weeks at a time. Never had I thought about traveling outside of the U.S. Prior to this, and just having that freedom, it just really opened our eyes to the possibilities of how to truly enjoy life. So, but to back up just a little bit, during that big bump in the road, my husband and I almost split, and it wasn't because of the business. It was because of the lack of balance in my life with my kids, and just our kids, everything that we were doing in our life, and there was just no balance. And he was screaming for attention, and I wasn't seeing it. So but it took about 6 months for us to rebuild that. And now, like I said, we're going on 29 years, and we have the best marriage ever. We're the best of friends. We do everything together. And whereas, at that time, the counselor asked, I remember vividly, and he said, what do you guys do together? And there was nothing, not one thing that we did together at that time. Everything involved the kids or other people. There was nothing, just him and I. But now we do everything together. So, but as I've built the business, as I've worked with women, I've helped save so many marriages through the consultation process of people coming in and sharing their story with me. And I've been able to share my story and just really kind of coach them through it. And so once everything was kind of going, I just thought, this is really, I love doing this. I love being able to inspire and help and share and save marriages, and to help women create a lifestyle that they want to live. And because we were meant for that. We were absolutely meant to live, you know, a life outside of just working.
Mhm.
So in a nutshell, that's where I'm at this point. That was a big nutshell, but
Yes. So tell me about Iron Girls. What's the concept? What happens there? Where is it located? Is a physical business?
yeah. So yes, yes. So the location that we have now is a 6,400 square foot women only training facility. My typical client is 30 and above, and is that woman that has taken care of everybody else but herself. And is our whole concept is on changing up here. And if you can change up here, you know, everything else will fall into place. I'm dealing with women with hormone issues, you know, all sorts of things. So it's not so much what the scale says, it's more about, you know, them feeling beautiful, confident, sexy, you know, just having that back in their life because they've lost it along the way. So, you know, really it's ordinary women doing extraordinary things, just feeling so empowered by the things that they do. But like I said, my whole, you know, we have what's called the Iron 5 concept that's in there, and that's related just to the gym. And that is changing the file in your head, changing your story, following the proven system, um, you know, no excuses, and being a part of the community. And we call it the sisterhood. And we actually this last year expanded that to an online program as well. So we do have an app. It's the Iron Girl Sisterhood app. And so I wanted to be able to reach women, you know, outside of just our general area, because we have such an amazing program. And so I did that. And then what I'm doing now, this coaching, is just another layer on top of that.
Wow. And you know, I've been one of those people that I've always been in fitness, or it's just part of my life. But you
Awesome.
know, every year about January, the gym explodes where I go to the gym. It explodes with people.
Yeah.
And someone's taken my bike that I use for spin, but it's okay because I know by the end of February, they will no
I'll be
longer
gone.
be there taking my bike, because I'm going to be consistent and I'll always be there 3 times a
Yeah.
week, 5:30 in the morning. I'm going to be there, but those people are not. So
Yeah.
when people come to work with you, it seems like if they have that sisterhood, if they have something to connect them, how does the accountability work? How do you
So,
deal with that?
okay. So we actually, part of our membership and part of our what we call our member care program is an accountability program as well. So they actually get text messages every single morning. Every single morning.
Awesome.
And
That is awesome.
yeah. And so it's not like, where are you? It's a message of just inspiration, of, you know, just connecting them, reminding them. The other thing is everybody gets a ring. It
Uh-huh.
says a ring that we have, and on it says worth it. And I tell them the power of this ring is that it's a covenant between whoever their higher power is, in my case, God, and Iron Girls and themselves. And whenever they go to get something to eat that they're not supposed to, or going to turn off the alarm and, you know, go back to bed, that they look at the ring and they make a choice. And whatever choice they make is the choice they have to live with. And so it's so powerful. This little ring has been a huge power. But those are just two of the things. But with the mindset part of it, it's really creating a growth plan for them that keeps them excited. Because if you you know, just think of it, when someone comes right new into a program, they're super excited. And then, you know, 2 weeks later, they're already like, oh, forget it. You know, what am I doing?
Mhm.
So, but having like weekly things that are new that they're attempting to do. And so it's a growth plan that they are always excited about learning something new. So we don't give it all to them, it's in pieces so that they want to continue to learn and keep that excitement. And that's what keeps them in the game.
That is just so exciting. And I just was getting chills as you were describing it, because it's just knowing that just even one other person cares whether or not that you show up.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you have the ring to remind, and have that ring, and when you're looking at that ring, if you're making the decision if you're worth it or not.
Yeah, for sure.
It just gives me goosebumps.
Well, and that's our saying is, I think it's on the side of my hat. It's I am worth it. Hashtag I am worth it. Like everything is, you are worth it. I am worth it. We are worth it. And just really getting that self-worth back, because so many women come into our program and they're so busy. They're busy taking care of the hubby, the kids, the job, everything. Today's lives, our lives are so different than what they used to be. And so they just don't make themselves a priority. And it's really just convincing them that it is okay to make you a priority. You make you a priority, and then everything else falls into place. When you're happy with yourself, your kids are happy, your husband's happy, like everybody's happier around you. And, it's just, so many people are just okay with being not okay, and it drives me crazy. So I'm doing everything in my power to change that.
Yes, that's awesome.
Thank
And
you.
so with the mindset, so you're sending them the text in the morning. Is there other ways that they're learning to change their mindset as they're working with your company?
Yes. So we have a whole training that I go through. And so I'm teaching them how to literally, so back that up. I'm actually a certified human interaction technologist. So I've gone to training to work with your subconscious mind. And so through this training, I learned different techniques that I then turn around and teach them. And they're techniques on mind control, and that it's not a willpower issue or a weight issue. It's a mind control issue. And so I have techniques and things that I teach them in our program to help them understand, and how, something as little as, eating something that you really don't typically enjoy, but to say to yourself as you're eating it, gosh, this is really good. This is not as bad as I thought, and whatever you're telling yourself, your mind believes. So, just really retraining your mind. And the same goes for eating something that you really shouldn't eat, saying, gosh, I feel the fat going down my throat, or whatever, but it's the same thing. And doing things like just bringing a lot of awareness to why they're eating. So instead of, writing down what they're eating, to write down why they're eating. Is it nutrition? Is it entertainment? Or is it addiction? And then they can see for themselves in black and white, like, oh, wow, I see that during lunch is when, my addictive personality really comes out. And I, instead of having those 10 chips at Chipotle's, I ate the whole bag, something like that. So just little techniques that I teach. So I have like a whole system in our private Facebook group. Under the units, I've actually put lessons. They have lessons every single day that they can or can't go through. I mean, some people, I learn differently. So we also give them physical paperwork form, do the lessons online, as well as the text that I send them each morning kind of correlates to whatever their lesson would have been that day.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also have really, really big into guided meditation. And I had a professional come in and create a guided meditation just for the women. It's so empowering, and it's specifically for us. And, I try to get them to listen to that every day too. So all of these things are going to change, what's up here. And once that clicks, it's actually not that hard.
Wow. Well, I don't think I've ever heard of a gym that's doing the things that you're doing. So
Oh.
I hope you're thinking about franchising because I'm here in Georgia. You're a little ways for me to go in the morning.
Well, see, that's the awesome thing is that so now we've created the online app, which
Uh-huh.
is, in cases all of our program, as well as now I'm doing the coaching, which if the health part of, is of issue of whomever I'm speaking with, then they get to be part of our program as well as part of my coaching program. So there is the opportunity for people outside of, just the gym, because the workout is just a little piece of it. It's so much more than just that. Um, but that's what I try to tell people, when they come into our facility is they have to experience it. I don't allow anybody to sign up online. Every single person has to walk through our door because you have to experience that, or if it's an online thing that you have to have that conversation with me to understand it, or with one of my team.
Oh, that is just wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
So, as people, everybody has a story in their mind about who they are, or about how things should be, and sometimes that negative loop can just keep running.
Oh, yeah.
How do you help people with that?
So here's the thing with the loop is that you can stop that loop at any point and have a different ending, like really thinking about it and have a different ending. And again, your mind does not know the difference if it's real or not. It follows with whatever you're telling it. So I literally have them go through the process of the visualization of, what is the story? That's our second of the Iron Five, is the story loop in your head.
Mm-hmm.
And, and what is that story? And, let's change that. Let's cut that part out and add a new ending. And, now that is your new loop. And then also listening to the guided meditation, and just, doing the positive affirmations and all those things are like putting that positive into your head, to where as soon as that loop starts, the bad one, you can flip it over to the other side. And that's just one of the techniques that I use for that, is just actually literally cutting that piece of the story out and putting a new ending and visualizing that, and your mind thinks that that's reality.
Yeah, and that is so powerful that we can create our own story. We can edit it. I mean, right now we're recording on a video and it'll be stripped and it'll have an audio, but I have apps. I have things that if there's parts of this that I don't like, or, all of a sudden someone's dog starts barking, I can take that out. And so we can do that with this loop, which is probably not true anyway.
Right.
What we're thinking, if we ask, is it true? It's probably not. So
No.
we have that power to just like snip, snip,
Yep.
replace.
You do. And there's another technique of, so a lot of people have like an experience in their life that was a negative experience that they continue to picture. And one of the techniques that I learned, it's called the spray can technique. And you have that picture in your mind, and you take a can of spray paint, you pick the color, and you literally in your mind spray paint the entire picture out.
Oh, cool.
And it's gone. And it's completely gone. It is. So now when you think of that picture, it has spray paint on it, and like you can't see the picture. It is the coolest thing ever.
I love it. I love it. Oh, I'm going to do that. I'm thinking of some pictures cool. Right now I'm going to get rid of.
But our minds are so powerful, and it's just really cool to be able to use the things that I've learned to really help these women, change their lives, and the stories that have come out of that. And like I said, from all that is why now I'm doing what I'm doing, just to have a bigger reach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, I think that it's important to you know, do these things to take care of ourselves, because our health is so important, caring about ourselves, you
Yeah.
know, knowing that we're worth it, that we, you know, we're loving ourselves is really important. And yet, even though it probably shouldn't be as important, one of the main things women think about is, how can I lose more weight? You know, their self-esteem is so connected to that, losing that weight. So
Yeah.
what do you think the secret is with the system you're using? How does that help people even get that goal?
Um, because right in the consultation, when we ask what is the number one thing, and 9 times out of 10, at least on the fitness side of it, is, oh, I want to lose 10, 20 pounds, whatever it is. And right there, I just tell them, doing the type of training, the type of things that we're going to do, you may never see that number, but your body will completely change. And so, I really want you to focus on something like a size, something you visualize yourself in, something, I don't go back to the age group that we have. I don't go back to high school or anything, but I usually go back to, maybe, 10, 20 years ago, and, just a happy time in your life that you felt good, you're confident, you had all that. What size was that? And not the weight, because you're gonna, the way we're gonna do it is completely different than that. And just even for an example of myself, in the past year, the scale literally has maybe, changed like by 5 pounds, but we have a full body scanner, and I did the scan last week. And in the last year, I've changed 25 pounds of fat for 25 pounds of muscle. I exchanged that. So that's not going to reflect on the scale, but it definitely reflected, on me personally. And so those are the types of things that I really stress. We don't focus on the scale at all. When we're in there, we do, if there's people that have a lot of weight to lose, we definitely weigh them, and that it's all part of the scan, but we focus more on the entire picture, not just that. And and that's kind of where we take the focus away.
Mhm. And you said you kind of set your business up so it kind of runs itself now.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
then how is it that you're working with women, like with these issues? Are you doing that outside the business? Are you doing consulting with them?
It just depends. So I love these women, so I pop in a lot. So I still see a lot of the ladies, and a lot of times with our consultation process, I'll do a consultation with them over the phone. But I do have a staff of 8, so I have 4 full-time trainers, 2 fill-in trainers, an admin, and a sales girl. And so as far as the day-to-day, like, they could run everything for me. But this is my passion, and I love what I do. So I definitely keep myself available for that when we're in town. Of course, if, it's very easy for me to take off for a period of time and it not affect anything that I need to do. I still take care of the financials, and that's, my choice, that I want to be in control of my business. But I can do that from anywhere, so when I'm here, I'm very much a part of it. When I'm not, but I, the type of business that we have, it's not like we have thousands of members. We have, about 150 on average. So I make it a goal of mine to personally know and have a relationship with every single one of these women, to know their story, to know, that. So I do send them messages every single month, different women, different messages. They're very, very connected with me. I do lives within the group all the time. All of the teachings are of me and my face. So, so I'm very much a part of it, versus, not physically being there, but all the time, but I'm definitely a part of it. Does that make sense?
Yes. Now you have this Unleash the Power of Self-Love and Marriage. So we
Yes.
haven't talked about the marriage piece. So
Yes.
you did mention that you went through kind of a rough spot, but now your marriage is amazing. So
Yes. Yeah, so like I said, through having my 15 years of business, and this happened to us like nine years ago. And so really in the past 9 years, there was, some systems that I went through to get us back to where we are now. And over the past 9 years, when I've been in consultations with women, they open up and they share, there's no intimacy, there's, or just their relationship in general. And I just always shared my story with them and gave them little tips on what I did. And to this day, I still get messages like, thank you so much, you completely saved my marriage, or thank you so much, although my marriage ended, I knew that I was going to be okay. And that was through the coaching that I gave. So as the Iron Girlz has kind of taken off on its thing, I just thought, how can I have a greater impact on this world? And to me, marriage is super important. I have 2 daughters. One just got married. It'll be 2 years in March, and she's about to have our first grandbaby.
oh,
And
congratulations.
thank you. And then our other daughter just got engaged last week. So, but both of our girls, marriage is, there is no back door. This is a covenant with God and in our belief, in our family. And it's just super important. And I just believe that nowadays so many people are just think that it's not that way. And it's so easy to just, oh, it didn't work out, and walk away. And we have so many friends that have been through that, going through that, whatever. Our parents, just so many people. And so I thought, I can really share my story, and it all starts with, the confidence and the building you up. And that is how I saved my marriage, was by building me up and putting the self-love back into me and getting me okay. And then that's what ended up saving our marriage. And so really, I just wanted to create this program to just have a greater impact on this world, and to help women, and to share with them that it doesn't matter how bad it is. Like, it can be amazing, but it starts with you. And through that, I can coach them through the health part of it. I can coach them through, the mental part of it, and then the marriage part of it. And what's really cool about my program is that it doesn't entail the men at all. Like, they are not part of this coaching. It is just dealing with the women, and the techniques and the things that I give them will in turn either make things good or make them, they weren't supposed to be there. So it's a really, really, really cool system, and that I developed through this, and kind of have used members along the way to perfect it. And I feel that it's something super powerful, that I have a gift that I have to give. So that's where I'm at with that.
Yes, and I actually had a podcast guest not long ago who is a family counselor, relationship counselor, and she said, that you can improve and save your relationship, just you. In other words, it only takes one person making the changes, making the shifts, doing what they need to do to make themselves, their authentic person.
Yep.
And when they do that, everything changes, which it just doesn't seem like it would, but I guess it does.
It does. Well, the bottom line is, you can't control what they do or what they feel or what anything with them. I mean, you can't control that. And it's just being so okay with yourself that it attracts them back into your life. And not by your looks. Has nothing to do with your looks. But yes, feeling physically, healthy is definitely a part of it. But but yeah, no, it's 100%. Like my entire program is without them. And in fact, I tell them, don't tell them what we're doing because I don't want to say it's a game. It's not a game, but it's just, yeah, it's just things that we're doing that are triggering certain things in them. So when you change those things, it changes that trigger, and it all works, or it doesn't work. Like I said, but at that point, if it's not going to work out, you're completely confident and know that at the end of that you're going to be okay no matter what. And that's an awesome place to be when you are in a marriage situation where you feel so broken and so lost. So many women that are not happy in their marriages feel that way, and they live that way, and you should never live that way. There's always a way to make it better. For sure. And most of the women that I work with are the busy, successful business women. And that's part of the problem, because they are so involved in, what they're doing and their success, that everything else is out of balance. And, I've definitely dealt with that in my own life, for sure.
Yeah, like you said, you didn't, realize that you really weren't paying attention to your husband. The special person that's supposed to get all of your attention is all of a sudden just begging for you to look look at him, pay attention.
Seriously. Yep.
So,
Seriously.
part of that is just even scheduling. I find that no matter what it is, I have to put it on the schedule. If it's time with my kids or with my friends or, a partner, it has to go on the schedule or it doesn't work. I don't know how you're advising people to do it when they're really busy, but I found that that's the only way. Otherwise, things get pushed to the side.
Yeah, for sure. And that's actually the number one thing that I do in this particular coaching program is do a time audit and we have a blocking system that I teach that really is the first step in creating that balance in your life. And just, there is a time for everything, and it's scheduling that time. And it's not saying, oh, you have to live by this, oh, gotta do this, oh, gotta do this, it's not like that, but it just makes you aware of all the different pieces in your life, and where you need to place those pieces, and to always make the time for the kids, always make the time for the husband, have that time for yourself. I mean, that self time is so huge. And just scheduling in and putting all that stuff in. But that is the number one thing that we do in this program before we dive into anything else.
That makes sense. I had a partner that he actually passed away, but whenever I show him my schedule, he say, I want to see the schedule. And I did mine color coded, and I actually did it on paper. I do have my electronic one now, but I still like my pieces of paper. And wherever he would say his name, he wanted me to put a smiley face. So I had to put his name and a smiley face with his color. And he said, I like as many of those on your schedule as I can see.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I get my schedule every week. He said, I want to see your schedule. When do I get my time?
Yeah. Well, it's funny you say that, because my husband and I have the same conversation. Okay, when's my time today? So I tell him, and he holds me to it. Like, if I'm said I'm going to be done at a certain time, I do everything in my power to make sure that I'm done at that time. And, and I'm not perfect by any stretch, but it at least gives you a guide, to go by and to do things, like my husband and, your gentleman, of having them involved in that, like them understanding, that I'm busy, but I do want to make the time for you, and that they're important. For sure.
Yes. And the part of your Iron 5 where you say creating balance, is that what you're talking about? Actually balancing the different parts of your life, or you're talking about something else?
Yeah. No, definitely. I have them go through and do like just a basic life will to kind of pinpoint in each of those areas of their lives, where they're at between 1 and 10, and then we work on getting those all in line, because if one area is off, it's going to affect other areas of your life. And so, again, it doesn't have to be that way all the time. But if you can get it that way most of the time, you're going to be way more happier, way less stressed, and you're just going to have a better experience in life for sure.
Exactly. And just changing gears a little bit, just what about your life gives you the most happiness and fulfillment at this point?
Oh gosh, definitely just the things going on in my family, with my daughters, having our first grandbaby, and both of them finding amazing men, and just being so happy, and just being able to, travel with our daughters and their men, and just all the memories and the things that we've been able to do. We've been able to take my mom on a couple cruises, and just experience life with them. And that by far has been like the most exciting, fulfilling thing ever for me. But on the flip side of that, for my business, all the lives, that we've changed, like literally lives that we've changed. I mean, that just like warms my heart every second. So, and to walk in the gym and have, like, I hug everybody. I'm a big hugger, but for women to come up and just hug me and just thank you for everything you do, like that just is so, amazing to do that. And, I just, that I've had such an impact on their lives, and exciting. One of the things that I would like to do, and is kind of in my vision, is to have an Iron Girls retreat once a year, to where I invite, all the people that are in my physical gym, all the people that are in the online, all my coaching clients, and for all of us to come together for an event every year, and have each of my trainers, do different teaching, do mental teaching, be on a beach, like have fun, invite the husbands, and just for it to be just this super magical, fun weekend event. And I would love to do that. I think that that's awesome. That wasn't your question, but
That's awesome. That would be really awesome.
Yeah,
So
I'm really excited.
So, so if people are local to you,
Mm-hmm.
I know there's people after hearing this, they're like, that's where I'm going. I failed at this fitness thing, and I don't go to the gym. I sign up and I don't go, and it sounds
Yes.
like awesome, this community. How do they contact you? I think I asked you where you're located, but how do they contact you? How do they actually become a part of this community if they're local to you?
Okay, so like I had said earlier, every single person has to come through a consultation process. So our physical gym is located in Peoria, Arizona, and that's right outside of Phoenix. And for that, they would just go to our website, which is Iron Girls, and it's with a Z, Iron Girls with a Z, .com. And they have the option there to register for the trial and the consultation, basically, right on our website, as well as the online version of our program is also on there. So I have the two things right on our website that they can click on and get the information and go right to it. And then for the coaching program that I'm doing. That's a higher level coaching. This is really for, business women who are stuck in an area of their life, if it's, health wise, marriage wise, business wise, whatever area that they're stuck in. It's usually about an 8 to 12 week program, depending on what their needs are. And for that, they can just go to my Facebook page, connect with me, message that way, which is, well, I guess that's kind of hard to find. It's the Tracey.Rodriguez. So I think you have it. I don't know if you put that somewhere, but and then, I'm more than happy to give my cell phone number. I think that's the number I put on there to connect with me personally, and set up a consultation for that and see how I could be of help for that part of their life.
Okay, well, that is awesome. And what is your best advice for living a life of happiness, fulfillment, and success?
Is just to live your life with intention. Just be intentional in everything that you do. Don't settle. Don't, I say average sucks. Like, don't live an average life. If you're living an average life, you're living somebody else's dream. Live your own dream.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Yeah, that's powerful.
So, well, thank you so much for everything you're doing, for creating this community. And it's just amazing, the transformations, not just physically, but in all areas. And just thank you for everything you're doing.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate you bringing me on today and just allowing me to share my story.
Okay, well, we'll talk to you again soon, Tracy.
All right, thank you.